Hello, Sagittarius. Elsie here to do a reading. How you doing, Sag? I hope you're well. Thank you so much for clicking here. This is your bonus read. Just to say thank you so very much for all the ways you've been loving on this channel. I appreciate you. You are my fire family, and I appreciate you coming to the rescue. Thanks for doing that. When I do bonus reads, Sag, if you've never been here before, I usually try and read from the current or the future energy. I don't really want to go back there and look at anything in the past. We're all about the onward and upward here, 10 of Cups Tarot. So let's find out. If it comes up, I'm going to acknowledge it. That's my job. But I'm not going to try and hang back there or spend too much time or energy back there. So listen, if you're interested to get a private reading, please look the pinned comment. Membership area is open if you're interested in that. And yeah, let's find out what's going on here. Tell me about Sagittarius. What do we need to know? Tell me about Sagittarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. Tell me about Sag. We've got the Seven of Swords. What is it you don't trust here? We've got the Three of Pentacles. And we've got the Four of Cups. You know what this tells me right off the bat here is it tells me that there's somebody here who's in a friendship, or I'm going to say a practical partnership. Yeah, it seems like it's practicality, or it's a friend of a friend or a group of people. And I feel like there is something here that you don't necessarily trust. And I'm not feeling the Seven of Swords as something that's bad, or you know, like nobody's lying here. It's none of that dramatic stuff. I don't think anything like that's going on here. I just think that there's something going on here that you don't trust the situation. It feels like you're maybe new in a group of friends or new in a community, and you are making friends, building foundations with people, and they do seem cooperative and collaborative, but I feel like there's always this thing in the back of your mind, Sag, they could reject me at any time. I feel like this is an old wound, but it feels like you have been rejected before, and that might be why you don't really trust the situation as it is. Now, we could be talking about more than one person, but we could be talking about you and somebody else, one other person. But it feels like there is something here that, like, I think that you've been hurt so much that you're looking through to this partnership through the lens of being lied to or being cheated. You're still feeling out the situation. You're trying to build a foundation. You're trying to trust, but it's really hard because of your past energy. The Three of Swords is here. You've had your heart broken before by someone who just sort of took everything and ran. The Knight of Wands is giving me the energy of someone who moved really quickly. Excuse me. This could be a love bomber as well. If we're talking about something romantic, this could be a love bomber. And I think that this person ran through your life, took what they want, and then they rejected you. I feel like you got your heart broken, and I feel like that's why the Seven of Swords is here, because you are not necessarily trusting the situation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So one in the hand. Can I believe what they say? Four of Swords, but I've been trying to heal myself. 2 swords here. It feels like you're trying to leave behind old wounds, but I think that the old wounds are still with you, like in the present moment here. Yeah, it does feel like with the Three of Swords that you that you're scared that it's going to be a repeat of what happened before. And this could be friendship. This could be something that is romantic. We do have cups here, but it feels like somebody sort of love bombed you with their passion, and I feel like you thought that this was something you could count on, that you were building a foundation with somebody here, and then it ended up with you being heartbroken. We've got the Eight of Swords, and now you're kind of up in your head. So we've got Libra on the bottom of the deck. It does feel like with this Eight of Swords energy that you are sort of stuck in the mind and thinking about all the things that could go wrong. Look at all this energy, right? All the Swords energy up in your head. But what if, but what if, but what if? I feel like you have a genuine group of people here, or another person, whatever the partnership is. It's the place that you work, or possibly it's a group of people. Maybe it's a friend of a friend if we're talking about one particular person. And I think that this person doesn't give you chaos. I think they give you calm, because the Four of Cups is about being steady or stable in your emotional state. But I think you're used to dealing with people who are love bombers, or people who just come, take passion, or things that end up short term because we gave everything too quickly, too much passion, too much emotion. And I feel like now you're you don't trust this because it feels, I'm not going to say boring, but it feels like you can trust it, and that's why you don't trust it, if that makes sense. I feel like you're dealing with someone who could be a Libra. With all these swords here, it feels like they could be a Libra, Gemini, or Aquarius, but this person is giving you sort of wholesome, steady, balanced energy. And I think it's freaking you out, if that makes sense. It thinks like I feel like you don't really understand how to be appreciated or courted in a way, that is not love bombing. And so it's like Chicken Little, sky's falling, right? It's because things aren't chaotic that it makes you worry. Tell me what we need to know about this Three of Pentacles. Because you are building a foundation here, and you're like grabbing your hair like, oh my God, we're building the foundation. Now where does this go? Because you're terrified that somebody is just going to take off, reject you, and break your heart. And that's why you're overthinking the whole thing. Yeah. So you got this Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups, she's holding the 2, looking at the 5. Like, am I going to end up in regret? If I do give in to the 2 of Cups, am I going to end up in regret here? Tell me about the 7 of Cups. It's really confusing because I feel like we're on the border or the line of being friends and being attracted to each other. So it feels like it's somebody who's in a group. We've got the 9 of Swords. Yeah, there's a lot of worry around this. That this person is giving you reciprocal energy here, but it feels like you're worried about that. You're like, nah, this dude's toxic, or this person's toxic. I don't think that they are. Oh, but you know what's interesting? Because the Devil is here. This is the way they're on the table. I'll show you. They're here like this. Look where the Devil's pointing. The Devil is pointing to the 4 of Cups, which is stability in the emotions. And it could be a comfort zone, but I think that you're used to this toxic energy, and you equate toxicity with nothing going on. That's why you stay in the comfort zone. Somebody's giving me their emotional energy that's stable and sturdy and not trying to love bomb me. I don't trust them. They must be toxic. That's what it feels like here. And so the 9 of Swords is here. It is a little bit of worry, because if I do allow this person into my life, are they going to hurt me? Am I going to be hurt? Am I going to regret letting them further into my life? Because right now I feel like we're talking about acquaintances. It feels like we know each other through somebody, or through a group, through work, or something like that. Tell me what the 4 of Cups is. Somebody here is worried about being rejected in some respect. We've got the 8 of Cups. We've got the Empress. And we've got the 8 of Pentacles. That's what it is. You've worked really hard to get where you are. You might be someone who has built something all by yourself. You might be the subject matter expert in something. You may have built a career. The Empress is somebody who's sort of on a higher vibrational level, but only because they've got wisdom. They've learned a few things. They're usually a little bit older. It could be you. You could be the Empress, or maybe this is the person that you're viewing from a distance. It feels like if you are the Empress, that you've worked really hard on yourself to get to this Empress level where you support yourself financially, that you have the wisdom, like you have empathic energy. You are someone who's kind and compassionate and loving. You're independent. You do things on your own, but you've been through a lot of crap, right? You've been through a lot of emotional crap. And so I think that sort of renders you a little bit detached. So it's like this energy of I'll believe it when I see it. So I feel like your back is to the 8 Cups because you don't want to settle. You will never, the Empress will never settle for someone who's not on the same vibration. So I feel like the 4 of Cups is you sort of rejecting, I won't settle for anything because I've worked really hard on myself. There is an opportunity coming here to make some change though, because it feels like maybe you're a little bit stagnant in this energy of not really giving anyone your time, talents, or energy. It's like you've turned your back on these emotional things. We've got the 7 of Wands, we've got the Sun, and we've got the 5 of Swords. So listen, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a pep talk. It feels like with the 7 of Wands that you've built enough boundaries that you don't have to build a fortress, right? That you can stand up for yourself, you can protect yourself, and in your fire energy. I think you're okay with it. But the sun is here, and you're about to have a breakthrough that not everybody is going to hurt you like the other people hurt you. I feel as though you're, with these Five of Swords, it feels like you're starting to realize that this is your own, what is it? It's like intrusive thoughts on repeat. The sun is here, and I think that you are going to have a breakthrough or realize that maybe it's you projecting it out, not necessarily what's not coming at you. So it feels like you've got your back to things that are emotional, the Eight of Cups and the Four of Cups, and you're like, I'm just going to get rejected anyway, so I might as well beat them to the punch and say no thank you. It feels like somebody here is going to have a breakthrough that maybe I was in my head about that, and yeah, I have worked a lot to be where I am, but it feels like you've built a fortress. Instead of just putting up your boundaries, you've built a fortress, and so nobody can get in, but also your feelings can't get out. Tell me about the Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords. This is 10. I feel like you're going to release it. Yep, the Ace of Swords is here. The Two of Pentacles. I think you're going to make a decision to release something here. Release whatever it is that you're thinking. It feels like you're thinking bad thoughts, but I think you're going to release those because clarity is coming. Clarity is coming that I feel that a decision needs to be made, that you are sort of at the crossroads of your life. You can sit at home and be successful and build on yourself forever, but if you never really get out and make friendships or connect with people, you're only doing half the job. So I feel like you're going to get some clarity here. Tell me what the clarity is. You're going to make a decision based on some clarity here. That you're kind of stuck at the crossroads. We've got the Ten of Wands, we've got the Strength card, and we've got the Star. It feels like you're going to have to stop holding back in order to get your wish fulfillment straight up, right? Ten of Wands, Strength, stop holding back. Drop it. You got to drop the burdens from the past if you want to move forward. Tell me about the Knight, please. You think that it's too unstable for me to take this chance. I think you're overthinking something here. It's because of the past. That's what it is. You're really blocked with thoughts, things that happened in the past. It's like, no, it's just going to happen again. It's going to be a repeat. Why would I bother? That's why I'm working on me. That's why I'm working on my money. I'm building something by myself. Like, it's great to be independent, but I feel like I'm talking to somebody who really does want someone in their life, who's built such a fortress. You've been so used to staying alone. Tell me who this person is. Tell me who the Three of Pentacles is. Because this is a perspective thing here. We have the World card. We have the Queen of Wands, and we have the Ace of Wands. So it feels like you don't want to go quickly. You don't want to go fast, and that makes sense. You're resilient. I feel like you've been hurt so much here that you're a person who's been really resilient through a lot of the trials that you've had. And so I feel like you are trying to get out of survival mode is what it feels like. You're trying to get out of survival mode and close the door to the past. This is going to be a milestone for you if you can get out of this survival mode. Look, you're looking great on the outside. You're taking care of yourself. You're probably really successful. Maybe you have a business, but I feel like the monetary gains are good, but I don't think that they're enough for you anymore. So I feel like there is a new opportunity, creative option, or some sort of passionate new cycle that's opening for you here that's going to give you the opportunity. But look, you're the one that has to walk through the door, right? So if you're going to turn your back on it, you're going to turn your back on it. We've got the Judgment here. We've got the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. So there is something really big coming up here. Some sort of really big change for you to be reborn into a new cycle. Look, the 22nd is the new moon in Virgo. And it feels like it's asking you to clean out all the old stuff. Virgo is very analytical, prepared, clearing out of old energies. Feels like you need to let go of something, Sag. I feel like you need to let go of hurts of the past, the heartbreak. Maybe you made a decision that ended up not good for you, in the past, but I think that you're being asked to let this go because you're a different person now and you're in a different vibration. You've now got wisdom. So you're not starting from scratch. You're starting from wisdom. I feel like you're going to have a breakthrough though coming up pretty soon. It feels like with the sun here that the sun here is going to make you realize that you've grown professionally and personally and emotionally and financially, and you've done a lot of growing, and it's okay to let somebody into the boundaries, but you're being asked to let something go because the Wheel of Fortune is moving you into the new cycle, which is the 22nd, which is the new moon in Virgo. It's moving you into the new cycle, and you can be reborn there if you want to be. The new you could move into this new cycle as the Empress. You're not the person who was fooled back here. You're not the person who was love bombed. The Empress would never let that happen. The Empress has too much wisdom. Like, you know what I mean? You've changed yourself, and so I don't think the same thing is going to happen. But I think that the Wheel of Fortune being here with the Judgment card is huge. It feels like something is moving forward regardless. So you can move forward alone, or you can move forward by starting to make friends, or maybe this partnership, right? This partnership, because I feel like there is a friend of a friend or somebody that you know, and it feels like there's maybe some attraction here, is what it feels like. But you're like, nah, this person's got to be, they're too calm. They're too calm. Maybe they're not even attracted to me, Elsie, because they haven't really let on that they are. I think it's because you're used to love bombers. I think that's why it is, whether you're the feminine or the masculine. So I think that things are moving forward. Things are expanding. Life is different, but you have to drop the old way of thinking. All of these swords, right? Swords. You first have to drop the old way of thinking and heal the self with the star energy and just leave it in the past, or you're never going to be able to move forward here. What is the advice? The advice is the King of Swords. Be honest with yourself. The Ten of Swords, let it go, let it go. Yeah, you gotta let it go. So, and if you do want the heart space filled, then you are going to have to go from the 9 to the 10. You have to. It's the only way to do it. It's going to be painful, but you've got to let this go. You're not this person anymore who fell for it, or who fell for the person who was love bombing. I don't feel like the person that we're talking about in the Three of Pentacles that you're building a foundation with, I don't think that that's the way it is right now with them. I think it's going slow because this person is respectful, they're genuine, they're somebody who moves slow, whatever their sign is. They could have a Leo placement, they could be Libra or Taurus, very balanced, very slow, Capricorn energy, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo. We could be talking about Aquarius, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. It does feel like Taurus. It does feel earthy to me. It feels like Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Somebody's moving slow. It feels like first we need to be friends. Then maybe we move to the next stage of going into a group thing with people. Like, it seems like this is going to move really slow. And because it is, you're just assuming that this person is not interested. But it's because they're the King of Pentacles. This person's not in it to win passion from you. They're not in it to hit it and quit it. This person is looking for someone, they're not looking for a person. They're looking for the last person. So they're not looking for one, they're looking for the last one. So the King wants to settle down, wants to provide, wants to make things solid and grounded. Let's make sure that things are level and that we move slowly here. That's the person that's going to move slowly. But you're so used to being in the situations where it takes off immediately, passion is whirlwind, that it feels like that you're undecided or in indecision. I'm not really sure what to do. There's too much balance here. Can I have a little bit of fire? Yeah, I think that's what it is. And I think because you are fire, maybe you're attracted to fire. But it's not boredom, it's stability. And maybe you're just not used to that. I'm going to leave that right here. Thank you so much for being here and watching. I appreciate you, Sag, and all the ways you love me. I'm going to go for now because, I got to do more readings. Guys got me on the grind. Love ya. Bye.